Football Friday. We're running out of Football Fridays, which is always depressing.
We're going to cherish what we have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, championship?
Yeah, 3 more, including this one.
3 more, including.
We're round to the bend, though. That's a fair take by Rico.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying it's small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's small. Okay.
It's clever because this guy's right at me right there. I was agreeing with
I'm
Bosco.
defending Bosco here.
I was with him. I said,
Someone's got to stick up
It's
for him here
sad.
on the show, you know?
Brought to you by Game Time. Football season is here, and we can't wait to get out some games this fall with the help of Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You know how much we love Game Time now with their brand new Game Time Picks feature. They're making it even easier to get to a game. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. Plus, if you're trying to cheer on the Irish or the Buckeyes in the national championship on January 20th, Game Time has an exclusive discount for you. These exclusive deals offer 10% off tickets in the 300-level sideline, 200-level end zone, and 200-level corner, where fans with flexibility can find deeper discounts by letting Game Time choose their exact seats for the game. Just select one of the zone deals, and Game Time will choose your seats within the selected zone. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PICKS, P-I-C-K-S, for $20 off your first purchase, and get exclusive discounts on the college football national championship with Game Time zone deals now through January 20th. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PICKS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, so yeah, we talked about it. Football Friday. We did crown, we'll touch on it in the beginning, obviously. We did crown a champion last night.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to watch that it went wire to wire. It went wire to wire. Number 1 in the AP poll. Maybe at points dropped to like 1.5, but pretty much went wire to wire. And I don't know. I also don't think a lot of people like saw it coming or took their shots to beat that team, which was frustrating for somebody like me who went that far. I'll just speak of myself, but like you got to respect it. You couldn't. Yeah, he didn't go that far. He didn't go that far. You can't beat it. You know what I mean? You couldn't.
What's going on with this camera right now?
I don't know. It's Phil. It's always Phil.
I'm trying to do something to get you guys all on.
All right, fair enough. You
Throws his hands in the air.
when you take a shot and you can't beat them, you have to just go like this.
Yeah.
Jam. So that's where I was at. Very, very much wire to wire.
Yeah, I want to just I want to say congrats to all you first. It's a hard game to play. I know everyone on the internet's like, you should be happy playing. It's like personal. Your livelihood's in it. You have what you don't realize is that a camera is on you 24/7. When you go to the bathroom, they follow you into the bathroom. When you sleep, there's a camera in there. There's a camera everywhere. So it's like you have not a second, and also you don't see the outside until you're out, right?
Right,
I didn't go outside. I didn't go outside. I may have gone outside after the pink wedding for 5 minutes because I think.
Yeah, I'm saying you don't see the outside for 7 days, and it's like we know it's not real Survivor where you're eating rice and whatever, but it's like it's crazy, and also like you're sleeping in barracks with people you barely know, really, like your coworkers, whatever. But Rhea absolutely dominated everyone, and I don't care what anyone says. This beautiful, cute girl just killed every big ego in that place. And it sucks. It's like, obviously, when people watch it, it's like, oh, it's she's ruthless. It's like a game, you know? And she's like the nicest, absolute best person in the entire world. And she's like the most giving, everything. She killed it. I couldn't be more proud of her. And the way she's even handled it now, it's like, she's even like, she did the Money Manziel thing last night, which was my favorite thing in the entire world. When Money Manziel did that back in the day, I think I said I have too much money in my fucking hand for like 2 years.
She caught a retweet from me. I give her a lot of she's a presence. I give her that. She played a hell of a game. She bossed up big time.
Yeah, it's not
she
easy.
Definitely did.
Especially like, listen, there is like, as a girl, that is not easy to do with the biggest personalities on the internet. You literally have like, and I think what she did was so smart with Dave to bring him to the final because no one was going to vote for him. And I think a lot of the people didn't exactly know how much she was doing on the other side because they only saw the pink wedding, really. Like a lot of
some people knew what she was doing if you were in her tribe.
Yeah, like the other
me.
people
I knew enough, but like I'll even say, you know, like people are like, why did nobody take a shot at her? You couldn't really take a shot till very, very late.
Yeah, well,
like in it, you know what I mean? So that's where it gets frustrating too. Like this team's just steamrolling everybody. You know, it's like,
one thing is like when Rhea was like, "Hey, I don't think we should get Dave here." I do think like after the fourth time, someone could have maybe been like, "All right, something's going on here." But like again, I know it's in the game. It's so easy to watch a reality show and you get all the answers and be like, "Oh, I would have done this." Like, no, you wouldn't have. Like it was in the moment.
In the moment,
a lot
you can
different.
you can
because you're also if you make one wrong move, you're cut.
You also got to remember, so like Rhea and Dave knifed me in the back.
Yeah.
Completely blindsided me. But everything they had said before that worked out. So why wouldn't I believe
Trust
that we
them,
had an alliance?
Exactly.
The last four, we had 4 different times I think we went to tribal, and all 4 of them worked out exactly as we had talked about. And like, oh, I trust these people inherently. I realized that was a real alliance we had. And then they knifed me. So you say, oh, yeah, why didn't you try to get her out? Well, I didn't get her out because I thought we were working together. But that's a credit to how good she played and how good Dave played too.
Yeah.
She made 1.5 mistakes the entire game.
Yeah, which is impressive.
Factual. When she pulled out the idol, that was a mistake.
Yep.
Didn't get paid for. Half the mistake was not, to a degree, not playing the idol when I tried to flush it, but that was compounded. That I made a bigger.
Also not
I can't call that a mistake though.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like
it's more balls of steel.
100% a ball. The fact that I didn't have all my cards in a row, so there you go. So it's like they didn't lose any regular season games.
Yeah.
They went wire to wire.
Yeah,
so
it's hard. I mean, it's like
it's equally as frustrating when you get that close, but it's super impressive. Like,
and I'll say this, like, listen. First of all, one, she watches a ton of reality TV, knows exactly, like, she first of all can't tell a lie in our life. She tells me every single information going on in her head. So like everyone's like, oh, like what is she like? It's like we're playing a game, you know? Like I just don't like the crazy. There's crazy people online that are saying some crazy shit where it's like, let's just give her respect, give her flowers that she won. You can not like things that she did, that's fine, but just like let's just give her flowers that she won. But she absolutely killed it, and I'm proud of her. It's like that's insane that she won that season. When you look at all those names, it's like holy shit. And like her speech, like I don't care what anyone says, she has gone through a ton. Turns out fans don't know everything, you know, and it's like she's gone through a lot, and it was cool to see it come full circle, and she deserved it. At the end of the day, she deserved to win that game. Dave played good too. I don't care what anyone but she beat him for a reason. Her whole plan worked. She beat him. I don't know what else to say.
I have a quick anecdote. So, as I was about to be voted off, I had just my spidey sense was going off a tiny bit, and I went to Rhea, not Dave. And I went to Rhea. I go, hey, I can trust you here, right? Something just felt a tiny bit off.
Yeah.
And she looked me dead in the eye and said, yep, absolutely. And then they slit my throat. But I didn't go to Dave. I went to Rhea because in my brain, Rhea was calling the shots more than Dave. Yeah. And that's how I felt in the game at that moment. Mm. And that was solidified too when Dave said 60-40. But that little anecdote right there in the moment, in real time, when I felt like my life potentially was like, I'm like, this is the first time I feel something just felt a tiny bit off. I didn't go to Dave, went to Rhea. Yeah. That tells me that Rhea was running things. Yeah. Even subconsciously.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And listen,
the 60-40 I think was big.
That was huge.
To me, as a viewer watching, I was like, that felt like wow, like the room, I felt like the air kind of went out of the room. Like that was a flipping moment for a lot of people.
How do you then vote for the 40? I know,
which I do think is true. Like the 40 is like, he gets credit because the Pink Wedding was a huge episode
and a huge moment in the show.
It was the biggest single move because it just kind of like eviscerated half the group,
and it changed the whole. Show moving forward.
That's the trajectory of the game. Yes. They went from like being in control of their tribe to being in control of the entire game.
Correct.
They had it in their ability in their pocket after that.
And Dave orchestrated that.
Yeah, no, totally.
Making alliances also is a huge part of resumes, right? So she made one with Dave, and then she had a secret one with Big Cat that no one would expect because he has not been the nicest, you know? Like, and it was like, I thought that was such a smart idea for both of them, both sides. And also she had one with Will Compton, who also was she was getting information from everywhere. So it's hard, like it's easy to not easy because she did that herself. I'm saying like, you know, all the information, that's another resume. Dave's resume was he got the alliance with Rhea, but Rhea went to him and it was with Mubi, who he, you know, put in the game. So it's like that's a notch on his resume where it's like she had 6 different ones that no one knew about. They knew about Dave because that was the one she made, but no one knew. You guys didn't know about Big Cat at all.
told Rhea I wanted Dan out.
Yeah.
'Cause I felt that Dan, Witt, and Will had like too much power in their tribe. So I remember going to Rhea, like, before the tribes merged, I'm like, if the tribes merged, we got to get rid of Dan. We got to get rid of Dan.
Yeah, and now she knew all and Dan's every day texting her what's going on.
No idea.
It's like no one knows, and that's where, like,
shows you how badly I played.
and then,
I had no idea.
Obviously, she like when she's crying, but like Dan quitting, like that fucks with her alliance. So it's like that hurt her, and then also you have Will, and this is all in one day, and everyone's like, it's like you think it's in. Didn't the challenges all in like 30 minutes?
Pretty sure we did 3 Friday.
Yeah, like that, and that's like
The thing is, we do
towards the
every
end.
day. We did multiple challenges.
And there's 8 people left, and then you have Will saying that you need to get Dave when her whole plan is to get Dave to beat him, and no one thinking that, like, that's fucking with your head. And Big Cat quitting, like, doesn't help when she's like now she thinks she's telling the house, like, don't vote for Rhea because like he did this, she did this, like. It more is crazier than your head at the time because that's your whole life. Didn't you think that was like your whole life at the point?
Yeah. I'm going to just walk out, Phil. I'm going to walk out. You're a fucking piece
We're
of
having
shit.
a nice conversation.
He's a piece of shit.
He's smiling back there.
He's
smiling.
But it's one of those things like we get that, and then it's like that's great producing by Meek. Like that, that's what the people wanted. He got it.
You are completely disconnected from the world.
You think it's literally you're going to die, live or die here. It's like, this is my life.
I lost my mind at the house. I lost for 24 hours. I was a horrible. I was awful. Like I was fine once I got back in the plane. I remember texting you at the airport. I'm like, all right, I'm fine again.
Yeah.
Up until that moment, my brain was broken.
Yeah.
I had to do one Zoom to take care of some stuff at home, and I had to do Pick'em and Advisors. During that entire time, they're asking you what the weather is. Everything going through my head is the game.
It's a game.
Because last year, I did Advisors during the game when I could have been making a move. So that was in my head too. Like, this hour's going to kill me. You know what I mean? They're going to get me. They're going to get me. They're going to get me. So it's like, yeah, you're consumed by it. But it's also like, as much as, like, it was a ton of fun as well. That's what made it great.
Incredible experience.
Yeah, you're playing the games like you're...
I'm jousting with Taylor Lewan. I'm in a try with Arian Foster. Talking strategy with Kirk. Like, think about all the cool things you get to do. Like, if you're a fan of Barstool, or you're just even a fan of like just sports at all. People you're working with is wild.
That's what I said to her.
Like, what a crazy experience.
You just beat all of, like, Arian Foster was my favorite running back. You annihilated him. That was awesome. Like, that was like such a cool thing you did. And like, you beat the biggest guy of the company, and deservingly so. No one else deserved to win besides her. Like, I think that the 3 at the end, they all deserve, like, they all did a different thing to get there. And it's just like, give her flowers. It's really it. And stop being so disrespectful.
A little
You can be mad at her, but don't cross the line.
Fair.
I'll give you a final thought, Ev.
I'll say a little peek behind the curtain. I had to fly there on Wednesday when they were filming. I'm sure it was a Sunday to Sunday, right? Yeah. I fly in Wednesday to do a college football show. I pull up in the Uber. First thing I see, Clemmer getting his bags packed, thrown in the van.
I think I gave you one of these.
I looked at Clemmer and I just gave him a shrug. I was like, what happened? And he was like, then I walk inside. It's fresh after the vote. The 2 people I see a bunch of people like in kind of the like Chicago like kitchen area, but 2 people just like light up when they see me. It's Bosco, Kelly Keegs, and it was so clear. Everyone just looks like zombies, and 2 of them like instantly run up, give me a big hug, like, oh my God, great to see you, and you could just see this thing in their eyes where it was like they saw, it was like every person they see red. And it was like me, like they look up and it's like they see green. Like, oh, there's a human being that's not trying to stab me in the back right now. Like, I know that for a fact. He has nothing to do with this game. And it was just so wild, like just step in the environment for like 20 minutes, just kind of see it, like do college football show and then immediately leave. Like I talked to Roan for like a minute or 2. I talked to like Biz for like a minute or 2. And it was just maybe Taylor. So I said hello to a few people, but it was wild just getting like dropped in there like a fly in the wall for like 20 minutes and just seeing like the impact it had, even just on like Wednesday night.
Yeah, that was
wild.
We'll close with this. That's the last thing I'll say too. They did a great job of making it, or I guess a bad job when you're in it because it was an ecosystem of the only people in there
Yes.
were involved in the game. So
Not like last year where we were working.
Yeah, everyone was
while you guys were
working,
doing
and
it,
like
which
even
was stupid.
Going back 2 years, they were expected to it was a smaller production. They were expected to work all day, and then you get to play the game. So it is what it is. But yeah, it was a wire to wire.
Mincy talking about Mincy thinking that he could win.
I put that ticket out. Yeah, it was
when he. I think that he was trying to win the money.
Yeah, probably. It was
When he sat down after giving that speech, he goes to me, "That was a good speech, right?" I didn't have the heart to tell him. I'm like, "That was great,
Oh
Mincy."
my! Start to. I'm not. He stole the show in my opinion.
great.
And
He did have some great moments.
Him writing down the fucking name he couldn't do right.
Yeah,
him
Mackenzie
opening the
had
cap
album.
he couldn't do right.
Did you see his final
He goes,
thing?
where
It was crazy.
where is the piece of paper? It's right in front of you. Oh, that's classic.
he stole the show.
Well, the funniest moment was him going back to the loser house, and like Big Cat knows like everyone like hates him, and then Vincey's like, "I don't hate you."
Hey, Big Cat,
That's really
I don't hate you.
That should be like the how mind fuck of a game is. Like Big Cat quit because it fucked with him so much. Like that's not like girls cried. Like that's guys cried with their words the entire time. You guys were fighting the entire time. Just guys were crying with their words. I truly believe that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's crazy what was going on.
It's nuts.
Because then you get engulfed with talking about it at the house nonstop, probably.
Stop. And then I said it all the time. All the build up of announcing the cast, the money, how crazy this is going to be. Then they actually shoot it. Then there's like a little bit of a dull period of like more build up when it actually comes out, and then now it ends and it's like the balloon's deflated. You know what I mean? So, all right, Kansas City minus 8.5 against Houston. Total 41.5 money line. Houston plus 350. Kansas City minus 455. Which way, you guys? The Chiefs have done a good job, or I guess a bad job, of keeping teams in games. Not a lot of blowouts. Are you in the mindset of Houston stays in this because Kansas City doesn't blow their load that early? Or now it's the playoffs, very much like the NBA, here we go. And we get Kansas City, vintage Kansas City, lighting teams up.
I know we have one guy that bet him last week was Clemma.
Yeah, this is my pick of.
I thought you ended up
taking
taking
the
I
playoffs.
thought you both took Houston.
I did take
I
Houston.
think I am going to take Houston.
I'm on Kansas City.
Alright,
No, last week against the Chargers. Did you end up
I
talking
took
yourself?
Oh, I took Houston
I
then.
took Chargers like an asshole.
I took Texans.
Oh, no, I was on Houston last week.
I was on Houston last week. This week, I'm all over the Chiefs. You know what? We do that office pool, and we rank things based on confidence. This is my highest confidence of the playoffs.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to fault you. I'm taking the Texans solely because the Chiefs win, but they don't cover the spread much. And I think that the Texans are good enough in a way. I don't think they're good enough to beat them at all. I don't see any world that happens. But I just don't. 7.5. That half is
It's 8.5 now.
8.5.
This is a something gives game.
I
by
got
the
it
way.
at 7.5, but it is 8.5.
Something gives? What do you mean by that?
I think both these teams are the only two teams in the playoffs that are under 500 against the spread.
They are. It's true.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the only times ever this late in the playoffs that that's been
Really?
the case.
That's interesting.
The two teams, below 500. Wow, it's crazy though because Houston in the first half against the spread is like the best team ever.
Ooh, this
So
is
little.
interesting.
That's I think I'm going to play it both ways.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's Houston has some I think this year they're maybe it's 13 and 4, something crazy against the spread. 12-5, something like that.
Yeah, the Chiefs are not
Yeah,
good
I believe
against the
that.
spread.
That
You
doesn't
could
surprise me at all.
pull up his career numbers. Like Mahomes, you always
He's not good against the
No,
spread. in the
Mahomes-
spread.
There's that thing of,
Mahomes is-
Mahomes the betting against the Chiefs does not make you rich.
We did this last before the season.
Yeah,
you lose money.
it's not even
close too.
not good
you
against the
take
spread.
when you get Mahomes and the Chiefs at 3, or there's been situations where they're dogs. That's when they never lose.
Yeah.
always they're 3-point favorite or less. Always bet.
I would love to see the data.
They're laying a
You could do
touchdown.
that.
I gotta go the other way.
-3 to +3. That scale it down.
They
how many games
they
you
always
get,
win.
Gotta be.
Always
I
win.
will say, no matter what though, I think that if you bet that, if you lose, it's okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't think either side you're oh, what an idiot you are.
So here's the difference here.
Wild.
And I also, before you go, Clemens, sorry, I hate the Texans. I don't think they're very good at all, and that's where
Right.
that's where I was struggling a little bit. But
They also have a bye. So this isn't a typical situation.
They've had a double bye, really.
Really, right.
Yeah.
And then it's also at home. So there's so many different variables here that I think we're going to see a complete bloodbath. I really do. I think this is going to be a blowout of epic proportions. I say that, I mean 25 to 30. I bet last week I bet Buffalo minus 20.5 and it paid off. I think I'm going to do a similar thing this time, where I'm with the Chiefs like minus like 20.5. Because it ends up being like
Yeah?
plus 300. Yeah, Bills, it worked. I think it's going to be that. I'm not saying a huge amount, but you sprinkle a little on that. I think this is going to be a blowout.
I like Houston's defense a lot. That was a big part of me liking the Chargers, me liking them against the Chargers, was I think their defense is super underrated. They just played that game where that was, you remember, that was the Tank Dell like breaking his leg game, kind of like a weird. The game really shifted after that. Like they scored to basically go down 1. Tank Dell has a bad injury. C.J. Stroud's beside the team is beside themselves. Yep. They literally actually missed the extra point after like taking him off the field in the end zone. So they're down 17-16 and they kind of just ended up losing 27-19. But I don't know. And that game was in Kansas City as well. Like I really think they can hang here. And I think it's a lot of it for me is because of the defense. But obviously Kansas City, like Mahomes will just go Mahomes mode, like playoff mode. His divisional numbers are ridiculous.
Like, I could see it being
it's just a lot of points.
Close
a lot
to
of
the fourth
points.
quarter, and then all of a sudden Mahomes is like, all right, let's go, and then they win by like 4. You know, like it could be like 13-10 in the fourth quarter, and they just win 17-13 or something like that.
Can I ask you guys a question? I don't really know if I like a side in this, but I like a total.
Under?
Love.
What's the total?
41.5.
Yeah.
It's low.
Yeah, I don't
it
hate
keeps
that.
going down too.
I wanted to read this out. Over the last 20 seasons, dome teams playing outdoors in sub 30-degree weather are 2-7, losing by over 10 points per game. Stroud has played 2 career games in 35-degree weather or colder. The Texans are 0-2 in those games, scoring just 29 points combined.
What are the 2 games?
I don't have those offhand, but
Weather
but
on
he played
Saturday.
in Ohio State.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's played in the cold before, and it hasn't been like a
No,
problem.
I meant more.
you can always nitpick a stat. It's fair.
I think,
I'm
I
not
think it's a fair
nitpicking.
point.
No,
I meant-
Ev's right. You should. I feel
Well,
like
for the team itself, I think it's reasonable. I mean,
I feel like I don't do a good job of hearing a stat and then trying to dissect it. I just take it for what it's worth.
I think it's a fair thing to bring up,
Smarter
Rico.
for you.
no, I think it's fair to bring up.
You
I
have
think
to
it's fair to bring up.
You have to do that.
Yeah, I don't think it was crazy to bring
You
up.
have to do that.
High on Saturday in Kansas City is going to be 33, a low of 15. This is, what time is this game? 4 o'clock?
I think it's the 4 o'clock game.
So you got to figure we're talking probably in like the 20s during the game. That's pretty cold.
Also,
Yeah.
Bosco, I'll stick up for you really quick. Like college football does end in November. This is a different type of cold.
Yeah,
And when,
for sure.
when it gets to December, January in college
I'm
football,
not
you play in
kidding.
the dome.
Last night, I was walking out of dinner with Rhea, and I go, when it's this cold, sometimes I think, like, how do they play football in this? I was walking to the car so cold. I'm like, imagine getting hit by Derrick Henry in this cold.
just hear a crack. And
It's just like, and your whole body's just going to probably, like, oh, my God. But, yeah, it's a different cold. Like, even Buffalo is going to be, I think, snowing. Is it Sunday night?
Yeah, the Sunday night.
So it's even colder.
Sunday at like 6.
Like at least in at 4:30 or whatever the time difference, 3:30, whatever Kansas City is, it'll be like the sun will be out a little bit, maybe. You know, like it won't be as cold as, but the night game's fucking brutal.
I think it's supposed to snow the day before, at least according to this weather app, and it's a low of on Sunday at 13.
I have
That's
a
pretty
hot
cold
take.
in Buffalo, that wind chill.
I don't mind that for the Ravens though. Like they're a cold weather team.
a fair point.
I don't think they're affected as
nothing
much.
to the Ravens,
Ravens are
and the
cold.
Bills. Obviously, you
Like
want-
Lamar's played in a bunch of cold weather.
It's not exactly not like playing the Dolphins, right?
Yeah, like
I will say I
they
trust
play
the
in
Bills
cold.
more in the snow.
Sure.
Bills in the snows.
But you know what? I might argue that the snow, the run game. I mean, I think definitely plays in the Ravens' hand.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like
Like if it's like tough like throwing
they had, like,
conditions.
the best game in the world they had the best game they had in the snow. I don't know who they played that game. It might have been a shitty team, but still, like Josh Allen had
Oh, the,
touchdown game in the snow.
Was that was it the Niners?
I don't remember who
remember
it
who they
was.
played.
Yeah, I think it was the Niners actually. Not a bad
They
team.
did smash them.
Wasn't great, but
When you guys run out of your house or your apartment quick to grab something, like you're like, I gotta get a package. So you don't put on a full coat. Maybe you don't even put on pants. You're wearing shorts, you run downstairs. Or that same thing, you get out of a car and you walk into the restaurant. You guys have to piss immediately because it's so cold? Does that hit you or
that's
am I the only
actually
one?
Complete opposite, because usually it's like so cold. I
Yeah.
can't even
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Really?
And I'm not
Maybe
thinking about peeing because I'm so cold.
As soon as the cold hits me, I'm like, you gotta run in like that. Even that 30 seconds, I guess it just hit. You gotta piss
You know
immediately.
what? That only happens to me when I jump in a pool. I have to go to the bathroom, no matter what. I never go in a pool. I am not a pool peer.
No, me either. Ugh.
I hate that.
I'm also,
People do.
I'm having a lot of trouble the last couple of nights.
I just like that you're just bringing the random things up right now.
No, it's not because
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's in the realm. I mean, you talked
Yeah.
about cold. It's in the realm.
I like it.
3-4 trips at night now, pissing.
Oh, really?
Let's go.
What are you,
3-4.
90 years old? Maybe we're in the 2-3 range for sure.
I'm not kidding around. You see a doctor about that? Like,
No.
I was like 80 years old peeing that
you
much.
should.
2-3 a night.
That's crazy.
If it happened all of a sudden like that, I don't like that.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I have not hit the.
Clemmer's concerned.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm concerned now
should
too
talk
because
with you
Clemmer
guys.
is.
In fairness, I always have a drink right before bed.
All right, that's part of it.
I mean,
Put
I
down
do,
the bottle.
Yeah, I do too.
What? No, not a drink. Not
Like
a
what?
not a summer drink. A regular.
Hey, I'm dialing that back a lot.
Regular.
I don't pee at all. I sleep through the
I
night.
peed during a football game because it was so cold.
Sometimes it happens. Have you peed at night?
Like just early in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I'll maybe wake
I
up
will
catch
say
one
this
at
is an
like
age
6,
thing.
7, but
a lot of guys my age complain about this. My guys with high school with and everything. God bless, knock on wood, I haven't had that problem, but almost everyone I go to school with does. But it's only once a night.
Once a night, I feel like I'd enjoy.
No, it's
Like,
pain in the ass.
all right. I like sometimes waking
Wakes
up.
the
at,
guys
like,
up and they don't like it.
I like waking up sometimes 5 a.m. being like, ooh, I got like 2-3 hours left.
Bad sleep though.
That's
Supposed to
I
sleep
like
through.
my
Yeah, I know you're
favorite-
supposed to.
But my favorite thing is going back to bed.
Yes.
Oh, it's a great
And
feeling.
I also loved. We're getting too far deep, but I loved getting rage angry when there was something you had to do during the entire time. But the only thing that kept you from snapping was knowing you get to go back to bed.
Yes.
Like my dad, one time the car broke down and he was like, "Hey, you gotta drive me to the ferry tomorrow at 6 a.m." Wakes me up, I'm like dead. I'm like, this sucks. You're driving like the whole way there. You're driving. You're like, this sucks. But there's that little part of you that's like, I get to go back to bed. You're legit like hard. So I hope people like that segment. I apologize for getting crazy, but all right.
we need more. Sometimes
that.
it's too.
Yeah.
We
I
need a
told-
little break up.
I have a pee thing. I told Marty that up until like a couple years ago, if I was dreaming about peeing, I would actually wake up to me like peeing in my hand.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like is that not
Well,
like
usually
that was like
I'll
once
tell
a
you
year?
this, that probably stops at like age
And-
4.
And this is where it gets weird. No, that stopped for me at like 20,
Would you pee your bed?
and I never wet the bed when I was drunk. This was all dead sober.
Just
Would you like full on pee your bed? Like
No. I would wake up, and it would be like I was streaming
like in
into
your
my
hands like
Yeah.
this,
oh my god.
like this.
Crazy.
Dukes?
No, like, I wouldn't cup it. I'm not I'm not a weirdo.
What do you mean? Like how will you
a
pee?
normal
I would
piss
like
hole.
one,
Just
I would like one hand, and I'd feel it, and I like that's how I'd wake up. And oh my god!
And
I'm
it's like
peeing.
so hot. You're
Yeah.
like you're just like, what is burning you?
Well,
Yeah.
that would wake you up. The pee in your hand.
Yes,
obviously.
yeah.
Have you
Not the
ever-
pee in the bed. Jeez, no, the pee in the hand.
Oh
were
my
you ever?
God.
Were you always alone?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That's all. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I did get gaslit one time by a girl I slept with in college. No, not to brag. She peed the bed and then blamed it on me, and I believed it.
Oh.
Now that's.
How did you find the truth?
That's the most.
She told me
Dukes
later
thing.
on. She was like, I was so
Oh.
embarrassed.
Dukes would be like, oh, all right.
She like left, and I was like, "Where'd you go?" And she was like, "You peed the bed, so I had to get out of there." And I was like, "Fuck."
And you're like, damn. I
I was like, "My
guess I was having
boxers
that-
aren't wet, but like it makes more sense."
I was having that dream again. Oh,
We
Dukes.
could go even deeper, but I'm not gonna say.
Have you peed the bed?
No, I'm a big. All right, I'll fucking tell a story. We went up to Providence for a girl's birthday.
Hell yeah.
We all go out and get banged up. We come back to the room. I am not a sleep on the floor guy. I'll tell the other part of this story. Once at a girl's 21st birthday who I never had met, it was a friend of a friend, and they were like, "You guys could just clash on the floor in the room." There were 2 girls in the bed, and I was like, "Hey, you guys got a room up there?" And they were like, kind of like, whatever. I go up in the bed, and then I'm like, "How was your birthday?" Like, it's like pillow talk. I'm like, "How was your birthday?" She's like, "Great." I was like, "Oh, okay, good." Proceed to roll over and snore in the other girls' both their faces for the entire night till it was time to go home. So this is when we go to Providence, and there's like 3. I think it was a massive bed. There's 3 people in the bed. One of them is my buddy, and the 2 girls, her and the cousin. And he knows I'm coming up. I'm like, "Yo, there's room in there." So we're gonna go girl, boy. And my buddy goes, "Do you want me to switch with you? Because he's a little wild at night." Like, meaning it would have been boy. I basically would have sleep next to my buddy. And the girl's like, "No, what do you mean? Like, whatever. No, it's okay. Then, again, proceed to wake up from a bad dream and scream in her face and then roll right
night
back.
terrors in her
Just
face.
like, insane. Like, it's like,
Point
yeah,
blank.
it's nuts.
Bro, I'll say Bosco's bathroom stories are probably my favorite stories he tells. That one you told. If you don't want to tell it again, you don't have to. but
Which one was that?
The one in the box. was one of the funniest things
Oh,
you ever said
yeah.
on Bench Mob. He explained one time, and it was the best story I've ever heard.
Yeah, we're getting way too deep. We practiced in a bad neighborhood for track when I was like 12. I only ran track for like 2 years, 7th and 8th grade or whatever it was. It was a very bad neighborhood. They locked the bathrooms. For whatever reason. I didn't eat like before that, but it hit me, and I got to go. And it's a hot day in like May. I'm like, Mom, just give me the keys. I take the keys, found a Puma shoebox that luckily was in the car, lit up the box.
Oh,
Shit lit up the box.
Jesus.
Had no plan of toilet paper.
Yes.
Crouched up to the front seat in the passenger thing. Luckily, there was some like Subway napkins. Right through with that. The garbage can happened to be right outside the car. Threw it out there. They get in the car. It was like hot box times 1,000.
Oh.
Like my brothers and were like, "Did you shit your pants?" Like they were like, "This is horrible." Like windows open, like air conditioning on. But when you have no choice, what was I supposed to do? There were no woods.
Did you throw the box in the trash?
the box right in the trash.
But it still smelled so bad.
Yeah, that
Shit
too.
in
Shit
the
in the
car.
car, yeah.
It's gonna shit. It doesn't.
Shit
like,
without
in the bathroom.
shit without water.
Shit in the toilet.
I
It
knew.
still smells.
Oh, it smells hard.
You know?
Especially without water.
But Bosco's saying that he just like that's you've had some. You have a. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
You gotta go. That's it.
No, you.
Yeah,
I
big
can
time.
hold it for quite some time.
No, when you
You
get
gotta
locked,
go.
when
You get locked up.
When you get locked up, it's bad.
When Bosco says he's locked up, get out of the
no.
way. Yeah, 'Cause that's we used to travel a lot together. When he's locked up,
So who drove you home? Your mom or your dad?
My mom.
What was your mom saying during all this?
Just horrified. Like I mean, she raised boys. Like it was just whatever.
just horrified.
Just go to the park. Leave car smells like shit.
Yeah, brutal.
So you leaving the car saying, "Hey, one of your sons gonna take a shit in the car
Let's have a
later."
nice family and there's something in the shit in the shoe.
She's got a master's degree.
Shit in the shoebox in the car. In the family car.
Jesus. All right. I like Kelsey to score a touchdown. Plus 150, by the way.
I actually like it too.
I like Kelsey
I
to score a
like that.
touchdown.
Okay,
I said I like some.
I'm a little nervous about that just because it's like plus 150 is like I love that bet. That's
Yeah.
he's a playoff machine, and but plus 150 is telling me something. But he hasn't scored much this year.
No, I think they need
What
him.
do you have, like 4 or 5?
Yeah, I think they
But
need
he
him.
kind of did the same thing last year.
Oh, yeah.
where he just went nuts in the playoffs.
It'll be like he's washed, and then it's like well, they went 15-1 or whatever, 2 or whatever.
Yeah, I think
it
they
was.
need him when they need him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the bet.
I like some.
Funny, Travis Kelsey, you can't get mad at that.
I like some Xavier Worthy props. I took some Dalton
Is
Schultz.
Hollywood Brown playing?
I think he is.
If we're talking touchdown scores, you guys have any King of the End Zone
That's who
plays?
Yeah, that's who I'm taking. DeAndre Hopkins plus 255.
I think mine's gonna be Worthy. I think.
I like Worthy. Jerry likes Worthy in a crazy parlay we have. So
What's Hollywood Browns? Is it on there?
Let me see.
I know it doesn't matter what their odds are. It's just like how
Right,
far.
I think DeAndre Hopkins could have a long one.
Because Brown is the one.
Plus 285.
Yeah, Brown's the one to like maybe hit a deep shot, like Worthy is as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just like fast guys. I think everyone's bets are going to be on the Chiefs though.
Worthy, by the way, is plus 205.
I don't know. I could see the Lion. Like I know you probably don't get a big bonus bet, but I could see Brown for the Lions breaking up
Yeah.
on bomb.
Gibbs.
You know.
Sure.
So the way it works,
Also, I mean that game, the total's super high. He spent
Very
a lot
high,
of
very high.
lot of points.
Yeah, I would
there.
actually.
55.5.
I would advise people don't play the
Highest of the
Chiefs,
year, I'd
maybe-
imagine. I
maybe
mean,
play
you
the
have to.
Lions.
No, who you should play is the Commanders, where it's
Yeah.
like you like
Yeah.
you go Brown. What's his name?
Diami Brown.
I mean Brown,
Yeah.
like someone like that, like someone that's you're trying to hit like a Curtis Samuel bet.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right. Detroit minus 8.5.
I just have one note on King of the
Sure.
End Zone. You can parlay up to 3 people in the same game, or 2 in like one in each.
One and
game.
one.
Okay, that's good. That's
So
a good note.
what I'm leaning right now, I may go full Chiefs like on this. I may just go Kelsey, Worthy, and throw Mahomes in there. Because what if he just rips off a 35-yard run where no one tackles him? Just a
Yeah.
thought.
I don't hate it.
Detroit minus 8.5 against Washington. Total 55.5. Washington plus 360 on the money line. Detroit minus 470. I'd probably lay it with the Lions. I don't love it, but I'd probably lay it with the Lions.
I just think this is I don't know. Jaden Daniels I just think he has that thing. Like I think he just has that thing you can't describe. You can't like quantify it always. I just think they're gonna hang around. I think they're gonna score enough to hang around. I think I'm gonna take the Commanders and the over, almost feeling like the Commanders are gonna score enough that if they get blown out, it's going to be because the Lions went and scored like 40 points and it goes over. But I think it's a shootout. I think the Commanders can I think they can hang around. I really, really do. But I do think the Lions will score quite a bit. Like I saw Warren Sharp post a thing today about they play a lot of man. I think it's a lot of man, and that Goff's like one of the best against their offense, best against the man, maybe in the NFL.
I totally disagree. I think the Lions are going to beat the piss out of them. I really do. I think that Jaden Daniels is amazing. I think that he's going to score some points, but I think that defense is going to get absolutely exposed by the Lions because it's nothing to do with Jaden Daniels. It's that defense has been very protected by him because of how good he, like, even look at the Bengals game. They're up 33, 36 points, whatever it was. Like, if you look at their games, it's high scoring.
Yeah, but I don't think the Bucs put up a lot of points against Washington.
They didn't.
Well,
they had a good
look
showing
at
against the Bucs.
The Lions have compared to the Bucs. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree with you.
Okay. I disagree off.
I think the Bucs have an okay offense.
Not compared to the Lions.
It's good. It's good.
Lions.
Not Lions good, but it's good.
But it's not even about. It's about the Lions' defense and the Commanders. I think
They're
can
getting
hang
healthier,
8.5. They are, but 8.5 is a big number, and the Commanders aren't a bad team. I think the Lions offense has all my respect, absolutely, and they're getting Montgomery back. I don't know. Gibbs is so good anyway. Whatever. The Lions offense is legit. I don't know if the Lions defense can hold a good team to beating them by 9 points.
And also, this line's getting up. I think this could get maybe some 10s out there, like minus 115, 120, I think, come available. It keeps going up. I agree with Clemmer. Like, I think it's just more that the Lions defense, they played well against the Vikings. I don't know. Darnold, I think, showed his true colors when it mattered. I think this is a different animal. I think the offense is a different animal.
We've done this a
But
lot.
let's make sure on Monday we have our disagreement winner.
Sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, you got to take a side now. Right this second.
I'm on the over as well. That's my
me and
that's my
Bosco
insurance.
against you.
I like that. I like that play.
We've done this kind of all year. Who have you beaten? You know, like it's very much like the NCAA tournament selection committee. We've been saying that all the time. Do the Commanders have like an elite win to hang their hat on other than the Eagles? I'm going to read off their wins.
I mean, they just beat the Bucs and the Bucs. They beat the Eagles.
All right, yeah, okay, and then
Beat
Cowboys.
the Falcons.
Yeah, Cowboys, Falcons, Saints, Titans. Lost to the Cowboys. Lost to the Steelers, which turns out that that's not the Steelers aren't.
It was early on.
Yeah, Steelers were good then.
It wasn't that early. It was November 10th.
They were good.
They were good then.
Beat the Giants, Bears, Panthers, lost to the Ravens.
Also lost to the Bears.
Beat the Browns, beat the Cardinals, and beat the Bengals very early. Also lost to the Bucs to open the season and beat the Giants by 3.
They could have lost to the Giants if we had a kicker.
Commanders did what they're supposed to do. Beat the bad teams, stack enough wins with a rookie quarterback to get you to the playoffs. And also win a playoff game, not taking that away.
Good win, too.
What we've
I'm with
seen
you.
where now, is this the ceiling? Is this the complete roadblock where, hey, it's a great year and things are looking up, but your season can end very disappointingly against a really good team?
Yes.
I'm going to lay it with the Lions.
I agree.
I'm going to add that.
I'm gonna
Give me
take the
Lions.
over, and in our office thing, I'm gonna take the Lions spread, but I don't feel that confident in it. Like, I just don't have it in me to take the Commanders.
I have one of my. I think I have 12 on them. Like I love.
It's gonna
love
be
the Lions.
It's gonna be a low confidence line.
Also, just with a grain of salt, remember last playoffs, played a very competitive game with the Bucs at home, where they were a much better team than the Bucs. The Bucs almost won that game. The Bucs covered, and then they really, I guess they blew it against the Niners when they had the big lead. So I mean, they've shown there's been games where they clearly should have beat the brakes off the Bucs, beat them close, and then you have the Niners game where they should have won easily, end up losing that game. I don't know. I just think they haven't really shown. Obviously, it's only the second year of them having this iteration of the team, but they haven't exactly just pulled away in these big games.
They also, I will say too, the Commander. It's a lot harder to play in Detroit than Tampa. That's a fact. It's going to be it's $1,000 to get in the place. They're going to be loud. It doesn't. It's not as much as college football.
Yeah, I mean, he played in the
obviously.
SEC.
No, I know. But it's still, being home is a factor still in football.
I also think the dome translates to I mean, they want to they have no problem getting a track meet.
No,
I think they'd prefer it, to be
no,
honest.
they have to because their defense isn't good.
And that's why, the dome, I don't mind. I don't mind. I actually would like their offense going to a dome.
Yeah. Well, we'll see Monday. I'm excited. I like a little disagreement off.
All right. I think if you're giving out awards, I'm gonna put this at the silver medal game. Rams Eagles.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Silver medal.
You could
right?
say that.
Silver medal. Rams Eagles. Eagles -6. Total 43.5. Rams plus 225 on the money line. Eagles -278. I guess I'm a chicken. I don't want to take the 225, but I am all. It might be. Is this going to be a public dog? Dog with fleas, as Felica says. I like the Rams a lot.
Can I chime in?
It could be.
Yeah.
For you, snow is reported. A lot of snow.
Really? A lot of snow?
Is that going to hit us?
Sent you the message.
Yeah, they're saying like Monday-ish, like Sunday, Monday maybe.
I
think it was like
So,
3 to
this
6
is stupid,
inches.
This is stupid brain, but like truly, like I like the Rams, right? Just seeing it be so cold and the Rams playing there like bugs me out. I'm taking the Rams as well, but like I'm trying to not be dumb and be like it's just cold. Like Matthew Stafford's played in cold before. I don't think it's
And he
great
sucked.
stats. Yeah, I don't think it's great stats, but like they've all played in cold before. Like, but again, I don't know. Stafford just looked really fucking good, and their defense was flying around that night.
Is that why the total's 43, which I think is a little low? Is that maybe the snow is
Definitely.
impacting that? I guess I just checked. I guess the throws would start at noon.
And let me tell you,
They also both have just really good defenses.
it's a
He's not
running
until 3
game.
though, so
You said
Great.
Stafford has played in the cold. He hasn't played a ton in the cold.
Not a lot.
He played in Detroit in his career, though.
Fair. One game colder than 40 degrees. One game colder than 40.
He still doesn't.
One game colder than 40 degrees over the last 3 seasons. The Rams only scored 19 points in that game.
Yeah.
I love the Eagles this one. Now, I will say Stafford, hats off. I was completely wrong about him. I thought he would be always a Hall of Fame quarterback. I thought he would have a hard time staying durable this year. He's been very durable. Absolutely. What are we doing here?
Up a little bit. There we go.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a while to readjust.
1-8 record.
I was in the middle of
56 for 11 interceptions, longer than awful. Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm
So
not.
he's,
I'm not like saying this like so you guys have to look at it. It's more for the viewers. That's what I'm
Right.
trying to do producing.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm paying attention too. But other parts of that offense, like Cooper Kupp hasn't, he has been kind of what we thought, or I thought he was going to be this year. He's not the same guy. The defense, it's been okay, but it definitely misses some of the big pieces they had last year. I think also, and this is less about the Rams, honestly, and more about the Eagles. I put a bet in last week the Eagles to win the conference. I'm just really high on the Eagles right now. I think the Eagles are gonna
You have to
go into the
admit-
Super Bowl.
Last week didn't help your case in that. They looked like dog shit.
Yes and no. I think he was rusty. I took less away from that. I would see anything. I give more credit to the Rams win than the Eagles win. So
Of course.
and so this is not at all an indictment on the Rams. This is just more that I'm just really high on the
100%,
Eagles.
and you're not wrong. I
Yeah.
could see the Eagles are really good. I think they are the best team in the NFC, but it's
Me
just
too.
like last week was a little
The
concerning.
Eagles are the best team in the NFC?
Yeah, I think.
In the NFC?
I think
Am I
without.
missing something? You think they're better than the Lions?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I do.
Lions defense is all banged up.
I really do.
I think the Eagles are
I think on paper they're like,
really the best.
I was high on the
both
Eagles a
sides of
couple of weeks ago, but yeah, with
their
Hurts,
offensive line is true. Like
Hurts
truly
banged up. You
insane.
still putting the Eagles ahead of
Well,
the
no,
Lions?
that I don't like him at all. I don't think he's a good quarterback. But
I disagree. You think he's a
37
good quarterback.
he's like I ranked him 8th out of the 8
good?
left. Out of the 8 left.
Oh no, that's not good at all. I didn't know you
You
did.
had to do the 8 left.
Oh, okay.
Get Stroud ahead of him?
I have. It was kind of
Oh.
like 7 and 8 were them.
Really?
I mean, I had Hurts.
Well, we had. Well, we did. Well, hold on. Well, actually, what Clemmer kind of like did. We did
Over
like.
Jaden?
We did kind
I
of.
know, actually, we'll do it. But
We did kind of an activity of basically. It was more. I think the question was basically take like their personal offenses out of it, just them as a quarterback. 2 minutes left. Like, got to go score. Like, basically rank who you'd like trust to
want
have
the
the
ball.
ball. And I even said I ended up putting Jalen kind of last too because I think you can actually make a solid argument of the 8. He's probably the worst just natural thrower of the football. And in like a 2 minute drive case scenario, I even think someone like Stroud and like Daniels, like you would trust at this point, even early in their careers, like over him, based on they're just better throwers. And like, I mean, Daniels this year has proven time and time again, like he's a cool customer. And even Stroud has been like good in those situations, like definitely a better natural thrower of the ball. And then the other ones are kind of obvious you would take over him.
Stroud's just taking
Unless you want to argue
such a
Goff
huge
too.
Do your 8 right now.
Stroud's
Go
taking
through it.
so I think it's tiers, right? Like Allen, Mahomes, and Lamar are their own separate tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think
Stafford.
Stafford and Goff, I guess, are there. But is Goff, how much of Goff success is a product of being in Detroit. I don't know. Stafford's a Hall of Famer, but he's definitely on the back end. But he's still 2 minutes left. That's the game to just go down the field. You're not going to rattle Stafford, so I definitely would probably have him fourth. I don't know. I think I have Hurts sixth. Then maybe I have him ahead of Stroud because Stroud took a huge step back, and I just need to see more from Jaden. That's not an indictment on Jaden. That's just because Hurts has been to the Super Bowl. Like I trust Hurts more. I mean that's not fair, but just kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, no, it's not fair because this year, like
I like Jaden a lot though.
I put Jaden fifth on that list.
I mean, I'm betting on Jaden this week.
I put Jaden fifth of honestly who I would trust the most. Who will get me that score?
I think that's a little too.
I know that might be crazy, but I think he's got it.
I still want Goff over Jaden. I do.
I think if all things are equal, I'd rather have Jaden Daniels.
Goff got there like he did. What was that? The NFC Championship? Still an NFC
last year,
Championship.
yeah.
Last year. Like he still like won their game and.
I mean, Goff got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it also got to a Super Bowl on the other team. I'm just saying now, but like. I don't know. I think that Jalen Hurts in that game, I know he might have been rusty or whatever, like he had 37 yards. Like if you look at their stats and if I didn't tell you what the other team did, you'd be like, oh, they lost that game. AJ Brown had 10 yards. Saquon had 25 carries.
That's not fair to him though. He's coming off a concussion. Now you can say maybe the residual effects are for
that's
this
what's
week.
happening
That's a different
right now.
thing.
Yeah,
but like
talking about right this second.
I don't know. I guess I'm hoping. So this is where you could say there's a flaw in my game, if you will. I'm hoping that he's 100%.
I also.
You say, Chris, that's stupid. That's.
Are you taking the? So you're on the Eagles?
Huge.
I think I am. I think this even if there's snow, I think
fine.
it plays into the Eagles because even what Jalen Hurts does well, I feel like it's pretty conservative offense. Like I think that like to his detriment, like the play calling is pretty boring.
Well, that's where I
and like if they could just control the tempo and get first downs with like Saquon and him and just.
And Saquon's used to bad weather.
And they both have good defenses for sure, but like again. I'm not. I just can't take the Rams after knowing those Stafford Colt facts. Because also, Bosco, going off of what you said, like about like Stroud and being a quarterback's batting in the cold. He's from the South, right? Stafford he went to Georgia.
Yeah.
Then played in a dome in Detroit, and then in his sample size of playing in the cold, it's not like necessarily small. Like it's bad.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just think I don't know. I just like the Rams.
I
love
the
the Eagles.
defense. Yeah.
I really like the Eagles.
This is my second biggest confidence.
I think it just and this is actually even a point that kind of would play like against the Eagles. There was I saw some stat today about it was like all the guys that like go for 200 yards against a team and then play against them again. Say go on for like 250 against the Rams. Every single guy that ran for 200 yards against a team and then played them again didn't break 100 yards. And most of them got totally shut down. I think the most like Marshall Faulk against somebody had like 99 after.
I think that.
But I don't even think it matters. I think they're just gonna like. I think this.
No, it does matter. Like the Eagles are gonna win this game. It's gonna be on the ground.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think like you can Saquon's such a different animal. Like I don't know how, and this offensive line is so dominant. Like the Rams defense is good. They have they have the rookie of the year on their defensive line. Like they have a bunch of great players. But I think the Rams just having to go across country to the Eagles cold, like against this team who I think the thing we're not mentioning too is the Eagles defense is so fucking good, so good, and I think that's gonna to me that's like the X factor in this game, and that's why the line is 6.5, and the total's so low because they think the Eagles are gonna just like stop them defensively.
We're also not talking about the coaching matchup is the Rams. Rams win that coaching match.
Sure, but even
I was just about to say that.
But I think the Eagles' coaching is so. Kellen Moore's very good offensive coordinator. I think Sirianni at this point has been kind of like he's become kind of this like I don't know. The narrative on him I think is spun weirdly. Where like look at the success he's had as the coach, and it's like he's an idiot. He gets treated like he's an idiot.
Yeah, but he is an idiot.
I agree.
But like what do you mean he's an idiot? Like all he's done.
Your record is Bill Parcells said that.
Yeah, all he's done is just win. Like he's coached for like 3 years. They made the playoffs like every year he's been there, and they made the Super Bowl.
Also, argue the results.
Also, he has the best roster. So it's not like
sure. I guess he's got one of the best ones.
You know what he's getting? He's getting kind of like the Jason Tatum treatment a little bit. Like, oh, he has no aura, so he's not
a little bit.
But he hasn't won.
But he's won a lot. He's won in this spot. He's won.
Tatum didn't win last year either yet.
But Tatum won, so it goes away.
It's still kind of there.
But
it's crazy. It's crazy.
But when you win one, it goes away.
We can say Sirianni is a good coach.
Yes.
He's a good coach.
Annoying as fuck.
I don't think he's like,
yeah, come on, man. Like, what do you mean he's not a good coach? He's not a good coach.
Top 5 coach?
I don't know.
You are so fucking annoying, man.
I think we can only say, like, the Rams have two advantages in this game: a significant advantage at head coach and a significant advantage at quarterback. The Eagles are better.
I don't know how. I think I would give them the edge. I would definitely say I'd rather have McVay, but I wouldn't. I don't know how much of an edge it
Nick
is.
Sirianni has a 706 career winning percentage.
Sean McVay is a significantly better.
I will
coach
say
than
McVay-
Sirianni.
Better. Significant's a strong word, I think.
McVay going to the playoffs the last 2 years, right? He went last year, right?
McVay?
Yeah.
They went last year.
Them doing this.
They
in
lost to the
them
Lions.
doing this in a rebuild after everything they lost to the Lions.
They
Like,
were 1-4. Like they were 1-4.
Yeah.
No, McVay's a great coach. Like I said,
McVay's
I would pick him. I would pick him over him. But I think you're talking about like a top 5 coach, and then Sirianni. It's almost be like impossible to put outside the top 10.
Oh yeah, impossible.
I think you're. That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you? I think it's.
Phil, you hate Saquon.
Well, I'm taking the Eagles.
You're taking the Eagles? What?
Yeah.
You did this whole thing.
All you do is say how much the Eagles are like
I think
Saquon's a
the only
coward, all this
way-
shit.
The only way the Eagles lose this game is if Sirianni gets in his own head and you see Jalen Hurts passing the ball more than them running it.
But Kellen Moore calls the plays.
You You know what I mean? Like it's just a coaching
Ball
mismatch.
Broke his brain.
He doesn't. Sirianni doesn't call the plays.
I'm looking at it right now.
Sirianni's,
He's short circuited.
Sirianni is not a top 5 coach. It's all.
No, he's not top 5. But I said top 10.
He's top
you
three
have
at
to-
least.
top
You
10.
said-
And McVay's top 5.
McVay's
McVay's top 5.
good.
Sirianni top 10.
McVay's
top 5.
Unbelievable coach.
I think we're just saying Sirianni just deserves a little more respect. That's all. Which
That's what I'm
a
saying.
Fair statement.
That's what I'm saying for
No,
sure.
that's fine, but he is also a cornball.
Yeah, but to me, that's nothing to do with his like his
100% has to go into it.
Clever,
That's
he
why
opens
people.
himself
not his
up to
coaching
it.
ability.
You're right,
People
but I
are
think
talking about him as a coach. Like that goes into
That's
it.
more the
Is
public
it-
narrative of like, oh, him wearing like an Allen.
He literally went
Allen
after
Iverson
his own
jersey.
fans.
Marty, don't you think
Yeah,
that
they were
his-
talking because they talk shit about him, and all he does is win.
Your own fans? That's crazy.
I don't agree with it. I'm just saying.
Don't you think that his antics also opens him up to so much criticism that
Absolutely.
when you slip up
Yeah.
a little bit, it's like it's not like a small hole that most like people can smidge over. It's like
He
the
does
biggest
himself no favors.
And I do
Bro.
think what Howard Roseman does is he gave him like a great roster, so then it's like way easier to nitpick when you lose 1, 2, like whatever. And when you're in a market like Philadelphia, it just opens you up to just get fucking
People are very wrong about this, but hypothetically, if there's a guy named Coach K who does some cornball things and said that he's like, oh, this guy's but he won 5 championships, so it's like he can do, like it's more like he can back it up. When you start doing cornball things as a coach, because it goes into it as being a coach. It does. Like I'm not saying his ability is wrong. His ability is good. Obviously, he's a good coach, but he's doing some things where it's like, bro, this guy sucks. And then he hasn't won a Super Bowl under his belt. I think people are allowed to go after him. I think
Right.
that's where it's like you can definitely respect him as a football coach, 1,000%.
So what you're saying is Coach K looked after Coach K and wanted to boost up Coach K's persona.
No,
and
for
Coach,
sure not.
Coach S from
I don't know
Philadelphia.
if you heard this.
No, I'm just
I don't know if you heard this. I said hypothetically everything that people said about Coach K was wrong, but I think you missed that part.
But Coach Sirianni does do the Coach K thing hypothetically and
No,
tries
he
to coach
doesn't.
up Coach Sirianni.
No, Coach K would never yell at his fans.
All right, I like.
I love a hypothetical life too.
about Coach K. I wonder who he is.
To close that out, I like
Game of the year.
I like Kyron Williams for a touchdown there. Lay the juice minus 115.
What about Saquon? Would it parlay that?
Maybe.
Is it definitely going to snow, or is this all hypothetical?
Could be all right.
Looked.
I always tend that weatherman. He's doing it again, and I'm gonna flip. Okay.
Well, I'm not doing it.
It was zooming.
No, it was the TV.
Saquon is
you wanna hit
minus
him,
170
I'll
by
let
the
you.
way. So it's pretty
Minus
a
170.
lot of juice for
Yeah, a lot of
Saquon
juice.
anytime.
I like the minus 115.
What about or Hurts?
The Hurts one I was looking at too. That's a
What's
lot better.
Hurts nowadays?
Hurts gets the goal line looks, obviously.
Minus 120 for Hurts. I was
You know,
looking at that.
There was a stat a couple weeks ago I saw, Bosco, that no running back in the league has got downed at the 1 yard line and then not scored than Saquon Barkley.
Right.
It's because Jalen Hurts always gets the touchdowns right after. Makes sense.
All right, Ravens, the kingpin here.
Here we go.
Game of the millennium.
Ravens, Bills. I'm going to just say, all right, the Ravens are minus 1.5, total 51.5, minus 118, minus 102 on the money lines, Ravens and then Bills, respectively. Are you guys a little shocked here that the Ravens have the minus sign in front of them?
No.
A little bit.
No.
A little bit.
I
I'll
am a little bit. Like, if it was going to be minus 1.5, I would lean to the home team. Are they saying the Ravens or 3 at this point. The Bills are getting 6, so yeah, they're 4.5 points better. The Ravens truly a 4.5. Should the Ravens be laying truly 4.5?
I'll flip my cards over. This is Ravens' like favorite play of the playoffs.
That's crazy.
Like this is like I think this.
You don't think there's a wow
to
factor
me?
in
I
that
think
at all?
I think people are like falling in this trap of like Buffalo at home, Josh Allen, how amazing he is. These teams played earlier this year. You know what the score was? 45-10 Ravens. They dominate this game in the trenches. They match up well with this team. I know I'm telling you, the Ravens are going to come here and win this game.
People fall in love
I
with
love the
Baltimore.
Ravens.
Like they're falling, like they've 100% fallen. Like Lamar is getting all the respect now. Like they're literally saying he should get the MVP over Josh Allen. Like I don't think, I'm not saying you're wrong about like they could definitely beat them. It's why it's 1.5. It's the best game that could happen.
The line flipped too.
I'm all over the Bills.
Line
Like
flipped.
100% all over the Bills. But like I don't know. Obviously the 45-10 is bad, really bad. It's early in the season, no?
Early-ish, yeah, it was earlier on.
Like the week 4, maybe
Something like that. It was definitely earlier
like
on. I do think it matters, just matchup-wise. Like these teams, like
Nose Flowers.
Nose Flowers. I don't think that matters that much for them. I think they're going to win running the football. Like, but obviously,
like the Bills know that, you know, like
Derrick Henry
they know.
ran for 199 in that game.
Yeah, again, your also stat goes against that. A 2-1 run for 200 yards has not gotten even.
well, no, it was 199. They also.
Are you me? All right, Mikev.
No, but they also have. But
Mikev
they also have this.
I've ever heard.
They have this other guy, Lamar Jackson, who run the ball pretty
They
well
also
too.
have Josh Allen and James Cook. So it's like I could do the same thing on the other side.
You'd say, but you could say they have this other
Cook was
guy.
also really
they had
good.
those other guys the first game around, didn't go very well.
Yeah, but a team's definitely beaten somebody after losing to them once.
I'm
Like that's
I'm
what
s-
I'm like. Obviously,
I'm kidding. I'm dropping my nuts. I'm
obviously,
saying
no.
the Ravens are
I
going
mean,
to fucking
I
win
love
this
the
game.
Bills.
I
Ravens are gonna win this
I
game.
appreciate like Ev is coming with reasons for his pick for sure. I disagree.
I just think they match up very well with this team.
I get these two teams are both so good in my opinion. I'm going with the Bills only because they're home. I don't have like a hard play either way. I'm going with the Bills because it's like they're home. I'm getting like even money basically, or even like I'm getting a point. Great. I just respect these two teams so much. I don't know what to do because they're both awesome.
Has Lamar won this big game yet? Has he? Yes or no?
No.
No.
So that
Josh
is
Allen hasn't either.
Well, I mean,
Josh Allen's never won this big game.
uh,
You could argue they both haven't won.
They both
like,
haven't,
This
yeah.
is the game they both have like never won. Something's got to give here. Somebody's
is
got to
true.
win it.
that is true. I mean, Josh Allen.
He got Mahomes, but so did Lamar last year. They got Mahomes.
And both of these, whoever wins is going to get Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah, like the last 2 years, like last year, they got Mahomes back to back.
Well, the problem is
Like they
both teams-
went.
Yeah, Mahomes
Kansas City
did
went.
all it.
He went into Buffalo and won, and then went into Baltimore and won. Like
The
they
problem
just.
is both. Like last year Mahomes actually put all that to bed as well. That he's always home. Only has to beat the team once.
100%.
And last year he just beat both.
Went on the road to the
Away.
unreal.
There is an important note here in that Week 4 game that Ev is referencing. The Bills didn't have two linebackers, Taron Johnson and Von Miller. So the Bills' defense was depleted in Week 4.
That's a
It's
huge
a
thing for the
health-
run game. You have to admit
a
that.
healthier
And, and
version
that game
now.
was in Buffalo as well.
That was in Baltimore.
That
Baltimore.
matters.
I knew it was in
Matters as
Baltimore.
well.
I knew it was in Baltimore.
So
That's two things that matter.
No, to Ev's point though, it was
Sure.
a blowout. And to Ev's
Oh
point,
yeah, he has. That's definitely
that's
a
very
concern,
fair.
of
And like
course.
if you, I would be surprised if it's a blowout. But then again, like I respect the Ravens so much. I don't know.
it's not gonna be a blowout.
I don't think it'll be a
No,
blowout.
right? No
I think
way,
it's a
right?
tough game. I think it's a tough game.
that's-
I really like Baltimore's defense too. Like I don't know. I just really think they like I said. I think they have a lot of success running the ball. I think their defense matches up well as well because regardless of all the like, if there's a few defensive guys out for Buffalo, they scored 10 points. Like the Baltimore defense showed up. They played really well. Granted at home, but still, I think certain teams just match like they say always in like fight, like styles make fights. Like styles make like these matchups.
Yeah.
Like, I just think they match up well. I think even the line it opened -2 for Buffalo, and like immediately it flipped. Like I think and like the big dogs who hit it early. I think those are things to look at. Like I'm taking all this into account, all these little things, and I just think I really love the Ravens here.
I respect the confidence. I respect it because I don't see it at all. For me, I have a hard time making a pick on this one, so I kind of appreciate someone who's willing to do it.
And I'll be just on straight, like I'm just whatever if it goes up, whatever, just money line. Ravens.
Bills
money
haven't
line.
lost at home. Not one game. That's obviously a telling
That's
time
why I'm
where they
very
haven't
huge.
lost one game, and all their losses are on the road. And this
That's
is
why
home.
I'm fascinated by this line. And to Ev's point, though, maybe Ev is sniffing it out. They haven't lost at home. Hold on a second. Why is the road team favored?
But there's also holes in the Ravens as well where they lost.
Definitely
Like
holes in the
they
Ravens.
lost some games where you're like, why? They do that all the time.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
lead teams game in. Like obviously, I'm not crazy. I know the Ravens can beat the Bills. You know, like the Ravens are incredible. I can't wait to just watch the game.
Me either.
It's like the first time in a
unbelievable.
long time where I don't even have to bet on the game. I just want to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, I will bet on it, but I'm just saying.
We have our future.
Yeah, I have my future. Me and Phil have them. I can't wait for this game.
Great for people in the cubes too. Day off. Martin Luther King Day, national holiday.
Oh, the next day.
Next day.
But it's also nice.
Early start.
It's
So-
at 6 o'clock.
6:30 start.
Early enough start that like
It's 6 or 6:30.
6:30, I think.
6:30.
So it's 6:30. Yeah, not. I mean, game will be over
early
by 10.
enough.
6:36.
Yeah, perfect.
So the
I
game's
love
gonna
it.
start at 7.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know,
It's fucking
and-
game.
6:36 could probably be like the real.
Real kickoff time.
Fucking
NFL is usually pretty good about like think at 1 o'clock. Like they kick off at
college
1
football
o'clock.
game's gonna start at 10
No,
o'clock.
college it's like the
That's
worst.
all,
It's
yeah.
20 minutes. It's brutal.
Bosco.
I like a bomb in this. I like Dawson Knox plus 550, by the way.
Oh, all right.
And then me and Jerry cooked up a bomb. Knox, Worthy, Collins plus 4,700.
I like that.
I hope a lot of people.
Knox must be a huge number. No, it
Knox
was
is
like 500.
550.
Dawson one's interesting, huh?
Well, it's scary because it's just like you don't know if it's Kincaid or Knox when they catch it.
Yeah,
No
Oh,
idea.
who was it? A couple years ago, Skronik on the Rams.
yeah.
Holy
Everyone thought
shit.
it was Cup.
Oh my God, I would be cheering because he's 18 and the 18 is on those
Yeah,
jerseys
the
looks like
10.
10. I have a note about this game. Josh Allen has this not monkey on his back, but there's this narrative that the quarterbacks or teams he's beaten in the playoffs are not like very good. And you go down the list, and it's fairly true. But one thing that's on his side the last time, probably the most marquee quarterback he's beaten in the playoffs was Lamar Jackson. So he's 1-0 in those matchups in the playoffs. I mean, if you do look at like the rest of the list, it is a little bit shaky, but I think he could get the monkey off his back with this win.
All right, so locked in real quick.
I don't think. Oh, sorry. I don't think he will get the monkey off his back with this win. I think if they win this game and they get beat by the Chiefs, people are still going to say Lamar can't win the big one.
Correct.
Okay.
Both quarterbacks.
100%.
1,000%. But I'm just saying, like both of these quarterbacks, and I just know Josh Allen's on the top of my head because I just looked it up. Like
Yeah.
he's beaten Phillip Rivers.
That was old. Like that was
Phillip
like dying.
Rivers.
Phillip Rivers
he
on the
beat,
Colts.
he beat Lamar,
Rivers.
then lost to Mahomes. Then he beat Mac Jones, and then he lost to Mahomes. Then he beat Skylar Thompson, lost to Joe Burrow. Then he beat Kenny Pickett, lost to Mahomes. Then he beat Bo Nix. Now he has Lamar. So you know what I'm saying? When you do look at it, I mean, and both. I think
Lamar's also bad too.
No, I'm with you 1,000%.
Lamar had he can't even win a game at
yeah,
one point.
and he almost got it off his back last year, but then they kind of
Lamar was a prisoner of he keeps getting the bye, and then he would like lose the first.
Yeah.
He did that like
Yeah,
twice,
yeah.
where they lost the first game after a bye, and then it's like you didn't win a playoff game kind of thing.
I'm taking the Ravens in this one though.
I'm on the Bills, obviously. Do you guys have any King of the End Zone picks?
I would go Worthy. I'd probably go. I guess I would go Worthy.
I
Hopkins,
think if you were
Hopkins
look-
for sure on the Saturday game.
If you're
Isaiah
looking,
Likely.
if you're looking for a lot of,
Unreal.
if you're looking for the biggest
big-
bet,
deep-
to Marty's point, I
deep
think you
balls,
go
too.
Washington. You chase a Washington guy.
I'm going Brown.
Well, it's one for each day. Like Saturday and Sunday, it's both.
Right.
days.
So for Saturday, you chase a Washington guy.
Yeah.
For Sunday, I'm eyeing Josh Allen, obviously, because let's say like he rips out a 40-yard run when no one tackles him.
I like Bateman
Ty,
too, maybe.
Ty Johnson and Justice Hill.
I actually like Tommy's idea, not for touchdown king, but the quarterbacks run more in the playoffs, even
I
not
agree.
the running ones. Kind of like they do run a lot more when it's like just do rushing attempts. He was doing that
attempts
a
is
lot,
good.
and that was a good because not yards because sometimes they still get the 1 yard,
Yeah.
but like attempts it's like 4.5 for a lot of them.
You got to figure they're willing to be more risky, right? Because
Yeah,
they just
sure.
go tomorrow.
And there's usually
Sell
a lot.
out.
Sometimes there's usually a lot more blitz, and it's just like getting them out of the pocket.
It's not a bad
Yeah.
thing to test out at all.
Yeah.
I like Mac Hollins and Nelson Aguilar.
Good luck with Matt Collins because I had him last week, and man, that guy had. I didn't even see him.
Don't worry, I already
Nelson
saw the,
Aguilar play I kind of like for the king of the end
Aguilar, I
zone.
love.
I already see the play that Mac Hollins is going to score.
You know why
It's
I
going to
do
be
it,
like
dudes?
it's going to be like a 25-yard pass downfield, two defenders running into each other, and Mac Hollins is running to
And
the end
every
zone.
time I do Matt Collins is because I see him like do a walk-in as like Fred Flintstone. I'm
Yeah,
like, this guy
barefoot.
is going to be awesome today, and he doesn't even get on
I do like
target.
the whole Mac Hollins, like, oh my God, he doesn't wear feet. And he's just like, I'm just this down to earth guy that doesn't give a fuck about anything. Couldn't be more of a look at me thing ever. Like, that is the most look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't wear shoes. Like, shut the fuck up.
Can I be honest though? I'm usually on your side with that stuff, but it's like
Nothing will sway me.
he's not wearing shoes is something you don't just commit to. That's something he really believes in.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's
like
just
you're a
just
weirdo.
weirdo.
No, I agree, but it is a look at me thing.
Like, I think sometimes Joe Burrow was looking at me a little bit. I thought that was like, look at my cool clothes that I'm wearing today. Wearing no shoes means you're a fucking freak.
Yeah.
They both are in their weird ways.
Yeah.
I just think Joe Burrow is like a look at me guy, and it was like we all were looking at him. Where Matt Collins is trying to play the whole like,
The Joe Burrow thing is,
I don't
like,
give a fuck about
I'm a
media. I don't
wild
give,
card,
yeah, like
Joe Burrow is, like,
I'm
he
so
doesn't-
zany. I don't like bits.
Burrow doesn't go out. He just wants to look cool. That's like he kind of admits that too, which is like.
And he is.
So
he is cool.
put down in pen, I would say, for the weekend. I'll take Detroit and I'll take the Rams. Do you have anything put in pen for sure? You said
Yes,
Eagles?
I do. I really love the Chiefs. That's my play of the week.
Okay.
I love the Eagles. I also really like the Commanders, and I'm on the Bills.
Ev.
Everything opposite for me besides Bills.
Yeah, Houston Commanders and Penn. Ravens like hard, like Penn. Eagles. Lot. I'm just like circled, scribbled under like Ravens,
Those pens in different
stars.
colors. You
Yeah.
can just do each of them.
Yeah, I'm just like circling 100 times
I really
Ravens.
thought that was like a cool invention.
That was awesome.
I was like, wow, this is crazy. We could have all these colors on one pen.
And then I'll reserve the right to change Eagles, but that's where I'm at right now. But I'll tweet it out, obviously.
All right, for tonight.
It's a tough game for you because you're a big Rams guy.
I'm such a Stafford guy, Rams guy, but I think this is a bad matchup for them.
That's where I am too on it. If it was the Rams against even the Lions or Commanders that have maybe a different. The Rams have really earned my
I
respect.
also could see another, like everyone wanting the Lions Eagles, but then we get another Stafford going to Lions thing happening.
That'd be something
I would take
for
the
a trip
Rams
to the
in that
Super Bowl.
matchup.
I would take Rams in that match.
That's when if the Rams are catching like
Although if the Lions had just beaten the Commanders, maybe the defense is better than we thought. You know what I mean? We have to take
Or
that
if they
into
win a
effect.
shootout, like then it's like.
Well, then it's a different story.
I don't even think it's me. That's my favorite one. It's the Lions. It really is. I don't like the Lions. I don't hate them. I just don't like them.
I think 8.5 is too big. That's why. But we'll see.
two.
Yeah, of course.
We had a disagreement off.
Yeah, discriminate off.
For tonight, I am taking Robert Morris. Does anybody here know why I'm taking Robert Morris?
What they playing?
Green Bay.
I wonder why.
Doug
System
They have
play.
been they've been horrific.
you don't like the head coach Doug Gottlieb.
Horrific.
No, sorry, you like the head coach Doug Gottlieb, but you don't like the podcast host.
Right. All right. I've also backed off. I've said it in multiple blogs. I'm just reporting facts. Like the internet's coming at him. I'm just reporting facts. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
even
not you
leading
at
the
all.
front anymore.
No,
He
it's
entered your
definitely-
space.
I'm not tweeting
No,
scumbag or anything anymore. I'm really
Because
not.
other people are doing it. for you.
100%. Yeah, they've come around, so it is what it is.
What?
Shout out UW, by the way. They gave me all this gear. So Washington, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Did you see last night what happened late at night? Gonzaga lost to Oregon
I did.
State.
I wrote down some hoop scores. Like there were a lot of upsets. Gonzaga loses 97-89. Temple beats Memphis 88-81 on the. I think Memphis was at
Memphis
home.
can lose to.
No, it was in Temple. I'm pretty
Memphis
It was
sure.
in Temple. I
lose.
apologize.
I think so.
You know what? I wrote the winner, so on top. That's why.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you this: Memphis can beat any team and also can lose to the
Yeah.
worst team. In
They
the
also
entire
lost to
world.
Arkansas State this year.
Oh, I know. They're
What's
the
up?
best team and the worst team at the same
Minnesota wins 84-81 against Michigan.
Buzzer
and then
beater, I think, too.
Northwestern beats Maryland 76-74.
At the
So it was
buzzer,
kinda-
too.
Northwestern was awesome.
Awesome.
The incredible game I was watching. I was
Great
on
cover.
Northwestern. Awesome game.
time. Also tonight on Villanova minus 8.5. I'm not betting the game, but the one you're saying, you're right. He sucks. The line is weird.
Line's a little weird. Yeah.
Robert Morris is 11-7. Green Bay is 2-16, and it's minus 4.5. Robert Morris.
Oh.
Such a Green Bay line. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I
VCU
understand
St.
what
Joe's
you
will be good tonight.
mean. I'm going Ohio State minus 7.5 against Indiana. Indiana's in shambles. They want,
They are
they
in
want
shambles.
him out.
I liked that.
And
Line's
I'm
a
also
little.
going
Yeah, a little high.
Iowa plus 7.5 against UCLA.
I do think Iowa can score and they can get back in that game. Kind of like UCLA's been playing overs as well. I kind of like that over. It's high as shit, 151. But like Iowa doesn't stop any. They're playing up and down, big time. What do you got?
St. Joe's plus 2. She had a 3-point sniper. Also, I just like the line. Just they're at home playing VCU. That's all for tonight. Big,
Can I give
big weekend
one,
coming up.
I passed on it last night, and again, can I put a challenge out to everyone here, as well as the chat? We're big college basketball guys. Clemmer, maybe you even find it like just looking at scores or like deep diving, whatever. Like maybe you're the guy who brings one to the table. But we should all try to bring to the table sacrificial lambs or just awful teams. I think Bellarmine is a horrific.
Like a team to bet against, you mean?
Yes, like just
I miss
blind.
Chicago State. I miss
Yeah,
them.
them. Like just the blind fades.
Yeah.
I really do think Bellarmine is that team.
All right.
So like keep an eye on that.
take a
That's
look.
what we'll put. Dukes and Meek, what do you got tonight?
I mean, one of those teams for me this year has been Mississippi Valley State, obviously.
Okay, yeah, they're
No
always
place for them.
terrible.
Saving up for football.
St. Joe's, I'm with Ev on that. I just love that spot, that line. And this is such a St. Joe's win. Like, they're one of these teams that has probably 3 players that could go to the NBA, and their coach just fucking sucks. I like this game for them. I like Iowa plus 7.5. And then the weekend card I'll give. I'm going to take a gander at Georgetown minus 9.5 against DePaul. Their defense is so fucking good. Their defensive turnaround in just 1 year has been crazy, especially when they entered conference play. So I think Georgetown has potential to squish them at home, and this is like a must get for them. So I might take Georgetown with the points.
Bellarmine last night, this was the one that jumped out. It was Lipscomb was minus 14.5. They lost by 34 points.
Can I pull something up with college basketball you guys might like?
Yeah. And Lipscomb was only up 4 at the half. Outscored the next in the second half by 30.
We were talking about how college basketball, I think, is in a better spot, weirdly, than it has been in years past. And there's data, whatever, to back it up.
Jets just completed an interview with Brian Flores for head coach. Adam Schefter reported, which is the guy that I wanted to get.
Pretty sure the Bears and the Jets have interviewed
Everybody.
anyone that
So
has.
also for the record, Bellarmine has 3 wins, and 2 of them against teams that are not
I
Division
thought we were
one.
going to do a segment on just these teams suck.
Brescia and whoever the mid
like
Eagles
that.
are in Brescia.
I like it.
Since Ken Palm's inception, 9,832 teams have been rated. 2025, Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Iowa State are currently the number 3, number 5, number 10, and number 31 highest rated teams ever.
Wow.
They were all above a plus 32 net rating with an average of 35.15. The next highest top 4 ever was 1999 at 33.88. Now, I don't know how to explain this, but I just assume that doesn't even count in 1999. Like, I just assume the analytics are better nowadays. So this is more impressive.
This is bad for Rico, though, because
Bama's
he
not
has
in
to
it.
take that bus.
No, I also to
was
that
a-
point,
that
you've never
was
seen
a
stronger.
loss.
Listen,
Bama.
they lost to Ole Miss. Tough loss. You've never seen
home.
stronger 1 seeds. Do you think those teams are perfect? Like I could see them losing
Duke's
in the
really
tournament.
good.
The tournament's a beast.
I'll
I
be
think
honest. Duke is perfect.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good teams this year.
So do I. I don't think those 1 seeds. You could say they're the highest rated. I do not think they're like impervious to an upset. I think they're like a ton of teams can beat them. Not
I'll
a
be
ton.
honest, Duke is
not
a bad,
ton, but
Duke's a bad matchup for Alabama in a weird way.
The 2 and 3
I think,
lines.
I
can
think
be-
I think Duke is a bad match. Houston is scary to Duke
Duke
this
could
year.
just get fucked seeding. Like there's
100%.
like not. I told you this morning. Like
They ain't
the
going
SEC,
to, but-
the SEC is so good that you could see a team like fuck. Like I'm just pulling one out of my ass, so it's not like I'm saying they could beat Duke. But if like Texas A&M falls to the 8-9 line, and then you have to play them in the round of 32, that blows.
100%.
Like-
You think Duke's going to play them?
What?
Come on. I'm not going to put Duke against them. They want Duke to go as far as they can.
No, I'm just.
You
like,
know what I mean, though?
No, no,
Like-
I do agree with you, but like I'm saying the SEC in general is so good that you could.
No, I get what you
like,
mean.
There's,
100%.
I could pull 5 SEC teams right now that are gonna like one of them is gonna have to be on the 8-9
Yeah.
line that could just fuck your team. Same with like the 7-10. Like when
100%.
you're like you saw today on the bracketology, Bosco tagged me in it. Bama was a 2 seed, and they can get St. John's in the 7-10 game. That blows.
St. John's a tough
Let
7.
me tell you something. Your second
the
round
Stars
is
already written.
It's happening.
It's happening.
You know, that's just Bosco's.
And the worst part's going to be, Marty, if we're going to talk, like, he's going to have, it's not going to be like the Elite 8 and,
Yeah.
damn, they lost, so I have to ride the bus 2 days. It's going to be a week where he's thinking about it.
Oh,
I'd
Which is
review
way
over St.
worse.
John's, Rico.
Thank you.
Yep.
All
Would
right.
you ride the bus with them then?
No, I'd make that pick.
We have a question for Clemmer. Where will Pete Alonso be playing baseball in 3 months?
Ooh, I should write a blog about this when we're done. I don't know, but I'll say this: the Mets are not out of it. I think a lot of that we saw yesterday with Andy Martino, who's a shill for the Wilpons and their 5% ownership of the Mets. Don't believe a word he says. He uses negotiation leverage. I'm not saying he's gonna go to the Mets. I'm saying that the idea that it's ruled out is just ridiculous. The idea that like $8 million contract for Jesse Winker influences spending $100 or $80 million on Pete Alonso is
his
stupid.
agent.
What's that?
His agent.
Alonso's agent is Boris.
And the Mets offer.
Let me tell you something. Boris, for the guys that aren't shoo-ins,
It
fucks them.
There's always a couple guys every year,
There's
right?
2 guys right now, like last year was Snell and Montgomery. Montgomery fired him because
Snell, at least he got it this year.
Yes, but he
Did he stick with Boris or no?
Yes.
Did Snell did he stick with him?
Montgomery.
So I guess Snell it sort of worked out, but like
not really in a way where it, like
It did. He just had a better.
he got a lot of money this
He had to
year.
prove himself after
but to
winning
get
the Cy
fucked, like
Young.
last year, he didn't have to go play for the Giants. He didn't have.
No,
to
it's fair. It's fair.
Like,
But
it did fuck him last year, but this year he obviously got his money for Soto,
Yes.
which is like I could have got money for Soto. I don't
He
think
got a great contract for him. He had a.
He's obviously good. We
He's
know
a good
that.
agent,
But
but there's
like,
always a couple guys that fall through the cracks.
there's two guys right now that he like holds out for, and it's Bregman and Alonso. Where like Alonso, he wants over $100 million, right?
I think he's
and then
starting to drop
Bregman-
that.
I know, but then now Bregman wants a long-term over $100 million, $150 million, I think, and it's just not what teams are going to do. And they're like these guys that aren't definite home runs like fucking Juan Soto, they hold out for lower, like what they got for Snell last year.
yeah.
The
And
Mets-
also, fuck the Dodgers. He's going there now. He's out. The Padres are out. What?
Rays are out.
Who else is left?
the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Where is he gonna go?
He's on the Dodgers. 100%.
Yeah, dude.
100%.
It's fucking crazy.
So if it is, then it was always going to
Yeah, I
be.
think he was always going to be.
Oh,
the
I thought it
Dodgers.
was. I thought the Padres had a chance.
I did too.
big
I think we were just
Not just a
naive. I think we were
chance.
just naive.
The Mets' most recent offer to Alonso that he rejected was 3 years, $70 million. And if you look at like comparisons, Christian Walker got 3 years, $60 million. And some people think Christian Walker's a better player than Pete Alonso.
He's a lot older though.
He is, but
What's Alonso? 32.
30.
Yeah, I think he'll be 31 next year. I think Walker is what 38, 34.
So-
But I think that 370 might be his best offer.
I
So,
thought
well,
who-
you wondered. So then,
who's-
all right. So then, who is? So then, you got teams like maybe the Angels who are desperate. Maybe a team like the Giants who are desperate.
He might do a Snell and take the 1 year or like the 2 year opt out.
I guess that's what he offered the Mets was like a 3-year deal with multiple opt
And
outs.
there was corrections. The Mets did offer opt-outs. Will Salmon updated his article last
Really?
night. Yes.
I don't know. I'll say this. I don't know where Alonso's going to answer the listener's question. Is a very good one. I'm just saying, don't rule the Mets out.
No, you don't.
The way Andy Martino phrased it,
fuck
was such,
is-
he's such a fucking. He's
Frank
the worst.
Frank lost weight and he had rational takes on Twitter.
Yes.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, Frank. Actually, I gotta give Frank credit. Frank said before the offseason, he's like, "Watch, Alonso's market's not gonna be what it is." And I said, "I don't know, Frank. There's not many sluggers out there. I bet he does okay." Frank was absolutely right.
Really?
I agree.
Always is.
I agreed with
Always has
Yeah,
been.
he said some crazy.
Alonso-
Wait, so you're
not.
saying the Mets didn't go 0 for 162 last
Yeah,
year?
they haven't disbanded yet.
Wow.
If a team went 3 for 100, I'd be like, ooh, that was a little bit of an overpay for Alonso.
I don't think anyone's going.
I was
what
actually
I'm saying.
thinking.
That's
I
what
thought
I'm
he would
saying.
get like 4 100 or 5 120 or something. I just thought teams like the Mariners would actually spend money. Once again, I believed in the owners, which was stupid of me.
Like I'm not even like this is. I'm not even kidding. If I had to pay 3 100 or Goldschmidt, I'd rather Goldschmidt. For
Oh,
Alonso.
not me, because I think Goldschmidt, you're already getting a spoiled banana.
No, of course, but you're paying $9 million.
But
$10
for
million.
something that's already rotten.
It's not completely rotten.
Look at the trends; it's bad, man.
Like, well, I guess it's kind of if you're going off for that year, like you think Alonso will be more than 3 times as good? It's probably not.
I'm not saying
I
Goldschmidt's
think he
good.
would be right if you go by.
I mean, he'll be better, I would imagine.
Let's go by WAR. I think there's a good chance Alonso puts up a 3, could put up a 3 WAR, and Goldschmidt puts up like a 0.5. So
Isn't that
yes,
crazy. He's
that's
not
6 times
He's
better.
also not a great
I
first.
don't think that's that crazy. They were about 3 times better this year. Yeah.
Alonso's not a good fielder.
He's not a great.
I also don't know if that like
I'm just saying. I mean, that if you want to quantify it like that.
more like matter, but I don't know about an end all be all like your WAR means. Oh, if he's 6 times more
Yeah.
valuable.
Well, I don't know. I don't.
like 1 to 1.
Then how do you want to like? Then how should we then determine what you're trying to equate?
Well, I'm just saying. I don't think it's a crazy thing where it's like paying Pete Alonso right now for like even like a Yankees team sounds stupid. Where like for that much money.
Why?
Like,
Yankees have the money.
for $100 million for 3, I don't think he's
Yankees
worth
have
that.
the money. They're
I know
trying
he
to stay
has
under
it,
the
but I
cap.
also-
They're staying under the cap because they're.
No, I
they're
don't
being
think he's.
cheap.
No, I don't think he's worth that much money.
So I'd rather pay Pete Alonso 25 and get production than pay someone 8 and get nothing.
I think Alonso's
You're just saying.
So you're
nothing,
saying
like,
nothing, yeah, like nothing.
He was basically nothing last
But I'm saying last year what he batted
So-
250, had like 20 some home runs, 60 some
Bat behind
RBIs.
the
It's not
MVP?
nothing.
No, he didn't bat behind the MVP.
I think it's very hard with Alonso.
That's a difference. You know
year.
that.
It is a difference, but like
Like the Cardinals were not good.
Like I don't think him having like
weren't bad.
him having somewhat
Great
about of
lineup.
a bounce back year wouldn't be like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
It would go against everything he's done the last 3 years, and he's getting older. So like, why?
But even if he did what he did last year,
he's going down. What's like
What was
just
the stats last year?
he had over 20 home runs. I think they around like 20 home runs.
Exactly what the Yankees need.
Like if he had 20 home runs, 60 some ribbies last year, bats like 240, 250. That's honestly like for what we're paying him.
Is exactly
I would take
what I
that.
want.
I'd take it all day. What we're paying him.
And the Mets pivots if they were to move off Alonso could be Arenado in a trade where the Cardinals.
I think the
pay
Mets are
down
going to get
money.
Santander.
Who's going to get Bregman?
Oh, we're not
Santander.
now.
The Red Sox.
We have outfield's full. We got Winker yesterday.
No, but Santander's played
stupid.
13 games at first.
Santander's an overpay.
Sucks.
I don't think Winker's good either, though.
Bregman's out there, but I don't think that's a reality.
Winker's the coolest baseball
I
player.
really
I've
think
ever
Winker $8
seen.
million than Goldschmidt $8 million
Yeah.
in a heartbeat. Better hitter. I mean, just look at.
I mean,
I mean,
that's not like a.
he had a better on base percentage last year. I think he had better slugging, right, Phil?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a better player.
I'll bet right now Goldschmidt has a better year than
What stat? What stat are we gonna use?
all of them.
Well, no. Well, Goldschmidt in theory will get more plate appearances. We can't use it. We have to use a stat. Because Winker in theory is a bench player.
So that's like.
Yeah, but
so what are we
that goes
talking
against
about?
your better player thing.
No, it doesn't.
You
No, it's because the
can't-
Mets are a different team. That's not
He's
fair.
not going to play that much. Like, what do you mean?
That's what
Like,
I'm talking about.
Because the Mets have a better lineup. That's not a fair thing. There's plenty. Ryan Giles didn't play at all for the '95 Indians because they had nowhere to play him. Their lineup was too good. Doesn't mean he's a bad player.
I mean, Jesse Winker's not like a guy that's going to be starting on every team besides the Mets.
No,
He's not even starting on the Yankees either. Definitely not. Don't even.
I wouldn't start on the Yankees.
Right field.
Not every
better
day.
than Bellinger?
Right field.
Is Jesse Winker a better player than Giancarlo Stanton?
Yep.
It's divisional championship weekend. Somehow we went to.
He's better.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're even thinking about Jesse Winker would start on the Yankees. And
Very, very deep in it. So.
I
I mean, you guys don't.
Jesse Winker was 20th in baseball in on-base percentage last year.
Thank you, Phil.
Listen, bring all your stats. We'll settle it.
Did he
Monday.
play every game?
You want out?
He played a bit.
This one?
You want?
I
Do
mean,
you want
he might have
out?
had- did he have a full season by theory?
430
You want
at
out?
bats.
430? That's not it. How many plate appearances?
Just go.
You do this all day.
Respectful. We have done it all day,
145
apparently.
games.
Yeah, Clemmer, I have a question for you to keep this conversation going. Do you think that
I
Kirk?
was ready to go. This is
I know.
not me. This is not
I'm
me.
not gonna lie. This is me now trying to piss off Bosco. Do you think that Kirk's report about Robin Glazer being out of the Patriots is real? I know you're in the New England media.
I'm not in the New England media. I'll say this. I'll say
Celtics
this.
fan, you're in the New England media.
I'll say this. Every single time Kirk has
I
said
know.
something about the Patriots, he has very good connections. He had the Vrabel thing, before Mayo could even clean out his desk.
Because I saw
So
people
I'm-
denied his report, and I think that a lot
I
of people
think
are
if
coming
you're
out now.
denying Kirk's report on the Patriots, I'd take a breath.
Last thing, Colin Cowherd's top 8 quarterbacks in the playoffs.
We have-
Whoa, chill.
Oh wow.
We have breaking news.
We got a
Why'd you just do
Oh,
that?
I know what he's
movie
in the
trailer
post.
apparently.
I think I just saw it too.
I've not seen this movie.
I've seen this. I just.
I get meek. I could just say it. Boom. Fred Smoot. Barstool.
Breaking news.
Done deal.
Why couldn't you just say that? I had a whole thing pulled up to pull up.
Well, I don't care.
I love
That's
it.
breaking news.
Fred Smoot's fucking hilarious.
Very funny.
All right.
Great addition. Very
So
excited.
we got Smoot and Gruden talking
Huge.
football next year.
Smoot's absolutely hysterical.
Gruden's been great, huh?
His pumpkin
Dude,
pie.
Gruden-
is
Well, you
so
met him.
funny.
I haven't-
I've got talking football with him is the best. I was talking some day. He's still kind of in on Daniel Jones.
Really?
Yeah, we went back and forth on it a little bit.
I'd love to hear Phil talk about it.
His exact quote was in that playoff game against Viking, he looked like Steve Young. That was
Steve Young was
John Gruden's
awesome.
words. Who knows more football than anyone in this building combined? Said he looks like Steve Young. Listen, I'm not in. I said, Coach, what about the other games?
That's fair.
Which he didn't have much of a rebuttal for, I admit, but
Fair.
Dave said we don't.
Coach Gruden knows ball.
Dave said we don't rebuild or reload.
Yeah, boom. Quote.
But Cowherd had Jalen Hurts number 8 in his playoff quarterbacks.
All right.
Smart.
All right. That is pick
Actually,
central.
I got another thing.
No, you don't. Divisional. You do need an end. Divisional weekend. We will catch you Monday. We will be back Monday for.
Clemmer,
the
do you
show
think
Monday.
the Mets will win the World Series?
Too soon to tell.
Play the music. I'm dying here.